Hi, this is Christina with the Sisyphean Journal, chiming in again about the leaked draft that indicates that the Supreme Court might be about to overturn Roe versus Wade. And I have to remind myself of what I'm about to talk about because, like other pro-life people, my gut response to the left's absolute horror at the idea that the states are going to be the ones that decide whether abortion should be legal for all 9 months of pregnancy, instead of the Supreme Court saying nationwide. Technically, you are allowed to ban it after viability, but there's a health loophole that the original Roe versus Wade decision did not allow you to plug up the health loophole in the original Roe decision because there was a sister decision, Doe versus Bolton, that defined health so broadly that literally I don't like how I look in a bathing suit while I'm pregnant would be a legitimate health reason for abortion because it's related to the woman's feelings about herself. And therefore, it is a mental health reason. You know, that if she looks in the mirror and considers herself ugly, well, then for her well-being, you would have to go through with the abortion. And I'm not exaggerating. That's how broad the Doe versus Bolton definition of health was. That if the woman had a reason, it was health under Doe v. Bolton. But like I said, the pro-life response, the gut response when watching all the chanting about don't overturn Roe, all the Handmaid's Tales cosplay, as if don't kill your baby is the same as we're going to tie you down and impregnate you against your will. Sorry, somebody's walking by and my dogs are losing their minds. Where was I? You have to remember that probably most of them don't have a clue. And I'm going to provide a link below to a 1992 article, which seems like it's going to be old and really out of date, but I don't think it is. I think that the numbers might have changed, but the underlying truth doesn't. It was James Davison Hunter's article, What Americans Really Think About Abortion, published in First Things magazine. And what he did, the National Conference of Catholic Bishops, Family Research Council, and Americans United for Life had polls conducted that were not intended to just get numbers that could be used for PR purposes or used politically. They wanted to know what Americans really think about abortion so that they could come up with more effective strategies for pulling support away from the abortion lobby. And I'm going to cover a little bit about what Hunter found when he looked at the results of these polls. The abortion controversy is a debate in which people's emotional investments and the rhetorical sensationalism of the special interests run high, to say the least. Moreover, the debate now officially spans 2 full decades, well, much longer than that, over half a century now. Given the time and energy involved, one would imagine the people who have opinions, and on this issue who doesn't, have formed them on the basis of a solid understanding of the facts. What we learned first and foremost from these studies, however, is that the public debate about abortion takes place in a context of colossal ignorance. A case in point, the day Justice Thurgood Marshall retired from the bench and speculation about the fate of Roe v. Wade began to stir, Peter Jennings announced the result of a new ABC survey showing that about 6 of every 10 Americans favored keeping Roe just as it is. And pro-choice people tend to say, see, people want things to stay as they are. They like Roe v. Wade, without knowing what Roe v. Wade is. Pro-choicers, pro-lifers who know more about what Roe actually says assume that the pro-choicers know. Okay? On the surface, this seemed compelling evidence for maintaining the status quo, but the truth of the matter, and what Mr. Jennings didn't say, is that only 1 out of every 10 Americans has any real understanding about what Roe v. Wade actually prescribes. So, in general, only about 1 of 10 Americans knows what Roe actually means. Okay? According to the Gallup survey, 1 out of 4 Americans thought Roe permitted abortions only during the first 3 months of pregnancy, regardless of the reason for wanting one. So, not knowing that Roe mandated that the states allow abortion through all 3 trimesters, and that they were allowed to restrict it only for health in the last trimester. And again, the sister decision, Doe versus Bolton, that defined health so broadly that she has a reason would fit. Another 1 out of 6 believed that the decision permitted abortions only during the first 3 months, and then only when the mother's life or health was threatened. 4% actually believed that the decision outlaws all abortions in the United States. And finally, 4 out of 10 admitted that they didn't know the legal outcome. So, 80% of those polled disagreed with the correct statement that abortion is available through all 9 months of pregnancy. Indeed, 65% disagreed strongly. And Hunter summed this up. He goes, curiously, the people most confident in their misinformation about abortion law generally, and Roe v. Wade in particular, were the ones most hostile to the pro-life cause. Those who viewed themselves as moderately or strongly pro-choice, who are also disproportionately college-educated, are nearly 2 times more likely than the national average to say that Roe permits abortion in only the first 3 months. So, pro-lifers, you have to keep in mind, picture Jesus on the cross, forgive them, they know not what they do. A lot of those people out there, the people you're seeing chanting and lighting candles and dressing in Handmaid's Tale's costume, they believe what they're being told by the abortion lobby, okay? We get what they really want. Those people out there most of them have no idea that they're being used to push for every state allowing abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy. The Casey decision allowed the states to clamp down on the definition of health. They still had to allow for life of the mother, which is nonsensical on its face, because if the woman's life is in immediate danger, you're not going to spend 3 days doing an abortion. You're going to, in a motel room, you're going to get her to a fully equipped hospital and do an emergency C-section. But, you have to keep in mind that for the most part, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know about the filthy conditions inside abortion clinics. They don't have a clue that women are still dying. They don't have a clue that women are dying because abortion clinics have nobody on staff that knows how to do CPR, that they've got no properly equipped crash carts, that they're not properly monitoring the women in recovery. They don't know about the abortion clinics putting hemorrhaging women in wheelchairs and shoving them out the door to bleed to death. Those people don't know that. And I mean, I made a rant myself about, because I was so upset about the pro-life, that's a lie, you don't care if women die chant. These are people who honestly believe that. They honestly believe the lie that 5,000 to 10,000 women a year were dying from botched abortions before Roe versus Wade, and that legalization miraculously made abortion deaths vanish. Most of those people you're seeing believe that. And yes, at some level it's because they want to believe it, but you're not going to win them over by screaming at them that they want to kill babies. That's not going to get anywhere. You need to go with what these organizations found when they commissioned these polls, these studies, and talk to them about what exactly is it that you think Roe is, and what exactly do you think overturning Roe means. And I think you'll find that, I would guess 9 out of 10 of them don't have a clue.